Hi all. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about talking about new makeup, trying new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed this video, hitting the like button. Today's video is a little bit different. I have talked about this on my channel a couple of times, or mentioned on my channel a couple of times, that I am a sunscreen lover. I love sunscreen. I wear it, as you should, all year round. But of course, there's more of an emphasis on sun protection during the summer months when it's, we're outdoors more, you're out in direct sunlight more, you're on, you're vacationing, you're just more exposed to the UVA, UVB rays. Now, that's kind of true and kind of not true. You're always exposed to them. It doesn't matter if it's, summer, winter, cloudy, sunny. And actually, there's been some studies that show that you're actually more exposed to, UVA, UVB in the wintertime if you live somewhere where it snows, because the sun reflects on the snow and bounces back. That's just my little speech of make sure you're wearing sunscreen all year round. But I feel like around this time is when, sunscreen is everywhere. There's sales on sunscreen. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me just sit down. Let's do a video. Let's talk about the sunscreens that I reach for on a daily basis. During the summer, there's a few that I reach for more in the winter time. I'll talk about those a little bit, but I just wanted to sit down and talk to you about what I've curated as far as my sunscreen wardrobe. That's kind of what I like to call it. It's my sort of repertoire of sunscreens that I reach for on a daily basis. So let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to focus on face sunscreens. I will mention a few body sunscreens that I like, but I'm going to focus more on face sunscreens and how they, lay under makeup, how they look just on their own, all of that good stuff. So first up, I want to talk about one that has been my OG sunscreen for, I want to say, since last year when I discovered it. This is basically this is the one that I repurchase the most, and that is the Coola. And this is the Coola Classic Face Sunscreen. I'm missing the cap, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but this is one of my absolute favorite face sunscreens. It does give the skin a bit of a glow, but it's not super heavy. I'll insert photos of me wearing it. I'm going to insert a photo of me wearing each sunscreen with nothing on top, like right after application, so you can see what I'm talking about with each one. So this one gives a glow, but I don't feel like it's an insane glow. It just gives just enough. It looks beautiful under foundation. It looks beautiful on its own. It is SPF 50. It has fragrance-free, which is this one, but it also comes with fragrance. I think there's a peach blossom one and like a cucumber one. The scent is really, really, really light. I don't like heavily scented sunscreens for my face. So I've tried all the scents. None of them bother me. They're very, very subtle, which is great. Yeah, I just like this one. It's like a really good everyday sunscreen that works whether you're wearing makeup or not wearing makeup. It is on the pricier side. I think this retails for like 32 bucks, so it is not cheap. And you get about 1.7 full ounces. It is non-greasy. It will give a glow, but it's not that greasy feeling that you get with some sunscreens. And it is water resistant for up to 80 minutes. But yeah, I love this. This is sort of like my gold standard summer sunscreen. Next up is one that I recently discovered. I discovered at the beginning, either the end of last year, beginning of this year, and actually I think it was the end of last year because I went on my no-buy at the beginning of this year. So yeah, I discovered this at around November, December of last year, now that I'm thinking about it, and I've been wearing it a ton. I've worn this all through the winter. And I only have a little bit left in here. I might try to finish that up maybe tomorrow. But that is the Innisfree Daily UV Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 36. Now, I tend to be a stickler about enjoying SPF 50, but I will make exceptions if I like the formula. And this one is SPF 36, but the formula is so nice. It's such an easy, smooth, lotion type of sunscreen. It just goes like, it feels like if you do your, your skincare and then you apply your moisturizer and it sinks into the skin, it doesn't give any kind of like dew or anything. It's just there and it's not intrusive in any way. That's what this one is. I don't know if I have a photo of me wearing this. I might. This one I haven't worn recently because I don't have that much of it left, so I might not have a photo of that. If I do, I'll insert it. If not, you know, sorry. But this is, for me, a really great affordable sunscreen. This one's only 15 bucks. It's 1.69 ounces, so it's basically the same amount as the Coola, but for half the price. So if you don't mind using this SPF 36 as opposed to an SPF 50 and you want to save some money, this is my second bottle of this. So this is something that I also have repurchased again and again. And I think this is a really good, like, all year round sunscreen, but I use this more in the winter, which is why I don't have that much left of it, and I want to finish it before it expires. So yeah, I might use the last bit of this up tomorrow. Next up is one that I recently started using and I've really been enjoying, and it is the Bondi Sands Daily Moisturizing Face SPF 50. And this is what it looks like. It is Bondi Sands is an Australian brand, and I've been wanting to try more Australian sunscreens, but they can be kind of hard to get your hands on here in the States. And they just recently started selling Bondi Sands at Ulta, which is where I picked this up. And I've been using this a ton. Like these two here, these are the ones that I have been sort of like using interchangeably. So I'm either wearing this one or I'm wearing this one, and they're both SPF 50. I will say that this one has more of a glow than the Coola does, in my opinion, but it sinks into the skin a bit better, I think, as well. So this one, I believe, I'll see if I can look up the retail price for this and put it on the screen if I can remember. But this one I think is like between the Innisfree and between the Coola. So it's not super expensive, but it's not like drugstore priced, you know? But I've been really enjoying it. I like the way it sits on the skin. I like that it is water resistant because I am a sweater. That's why I like the Coola as well. So for me, looking for ones that are like water or sweat resistant that's like my jam for summer. So yeah, this one is fantastic. And this is the Tula Protect and Glow Daily Sunscreen Gel Broad Spectrum SPF 30. And this is what it looks like. I got this. My relationship with Tula products has been fraught. I will just say that. Most things that I've tried from them, I haven't enjoyed. But I am such a sunscreen girl, and whenever I discover a sunscreen, I'm always curious, always. And even though I didn't love their cleanser, I haven't loved pretty much anything, I decided, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. This is not cheap. I think it's over $30. It's like $35, I think. It's expensive. Tula's expensive. I think Tula is overpriced for their products, but I wanted to give it a shot. This, my main issue with Tula products, to be quite honest, is the fragrance. The fragrance is incredibly strong. I feel like I'm applying grandma's perfume on my face with all of their products. And this one has sort of that vibe too. It's not as strong as the cleanser, but it is scented, and I hate that. I don't think face sunscreens should be scented. Like, I'm fine if you want like your skincare to have a little scent to it, but does your sunscreen really need to be scented? I don't feel like it does. This one, of all of the ones that I have in my repertoire right now, is the glowiest. And when I say glow, I mean like almost wet looking. When I put it on, I felt like I was greasy. I felt like, OMG, OMG. Now, the only other sunscreen that I've ever tried where I felt that way was the Black Girl sunscreen, the SPF 38 version. There is also another version. There's two versions. There's a matte version, which I haven't tried, and then there's the children's version, which I hear the children's version is really great, and it's cheaper than the SPF 30, and it's not as dewy. I really want to try that. I've been trying to pick that one up, but it's been sold out at my local like Walgreens, and they don't sell it on Ulta. So when I can get my hands on that, I will be trying it, because I hear it's actually a really great alternative if you don't want that super dewy look that their original formula offers. If you love the super dewy look that the original formula of the Black Girl sunscreen offers, this is very similar. Very similar. I would say like Super Goop Glow Screen, such a tongue twister, is the most like metallic in the shine that it gives, which is why I don't like it. I felt like the Tin Man when I wore that. I wound up giving my bottle away. It's just too, it feels like my face was like a disco ball. I did not like it. Glow Screen, for me, is if you want that sort of like Charlotte Tilbury-esque feeling, but with sunscreen. Whereas the Black Girl Sunscreen is like all about like dew. Like, I'm sweaty, I've been running, I'm healthy, I work out, I drink lots of water. It's that kind of vibe. This gives you like, I've been running and it's 90 degrees out and I'm sweaty as hell. That's what this gives. I've only used this twice. I'm going to continue to use it because I bought it. I don't know if I would recommend this for someone with my skin type. I think if you have dry skin, you might actually like this. I think it will sink better into your skin. I have oily to normal skin, and for me, I felt like it sat on top of my skin in the sense of not that it didn't absorb, but it just felt like there was almost too much moisture and glow and dew for my skin to take in, if that makes sense. And I'll pop a picture up, of course, so you guys can see, and you'll see what I mean. My skin looks wet. Now, this is right after application. It does settle down a bit, but not a ton. Not as much as you would want it to if you have the skin type that I have. But yeah, so this one, I'm still on the fence about how I feel about it. I don't hate it. It does have a scent, which I hate. I hate that aspect of it. I just feel like this is for a dry skin girl, and I am not that girl. I will continue to use it, of course, because I purchased it, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad product. I just don't necessarily think it's a product for me, you know? This video is about my love of sunscreen, okay? Right? So I buy sunscreen a lot. That's one of the things that I don't mind spending money on and buying multiples of, because as you can see with what I've been showing you guys, each one kind of has its own properties, and how it looks under makeup and the seasons and all that good stuff. So I tend to buy a lot of sunscreens to try, and that's one of the things that I have no problems buying because I use it every day. I run through sunscreen like water because of the fact that I use it every single day. So having multiples kind of keeps me from like, you know, running out super quickly, but also gives me a chance. It's also an excuse for me to try, you know, new sunscreens. This particular sunscreen, I was cleaning out my sunscreen drawer, like my sunscreen shelf, so to speak, because I had a lot of old ones that I needed to throw out that I wasn't using anymore. And for things that had expired, you know, because sunscreen, just on a side note, sunscreen only lasts for 12 months. So if you open a bottle of sunscreen, you need to finish it in that 12-month period. If it's past that point, chuck it. It's not good anymore. So that's what I was doing. I was going through my sunscreens and seeing like what I'd used, you know, what I had a little bit of that I'd opened, and, you know, was it still in the window, all that good stuff. You know, I was doing the whole declutter thing of sunscreens. And I reached back on the shelf. I have like a tray and it's a shelf, so it's kind of like a drawer shelf type of thing. So I reach back and I'm like, what's this? And I pull out this box, this unopened box of sunscreen that I had purchased last year in an Ulta sale and then completely forgot about. Brand new. I got so excited, guys. You don't even understand. It was like my birthday. I was like, oh my God, I have a whole bottle of sunscreen I've never tried. I've never tried it, and it was brand new. So I was extra excited. I was doubly excited. So just to show you what I'm talking about, it is the LaRoche-Posay Anthelios Melt in Milk Sunscreen for face and body, broad spectrum SPF 100 with Cell-X Shield, which is UVA UVB protection plus antioxidants, good for sensitive skin, fragrance free. So that's a mouthful, but I wanted to show you guys this. So this is it, and I've been using this on my body, and I loved it. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna love it on my face though, because it has like that sort of like, whenever I hit melt in milk, when you hear milk, it's usually a mineral sunscreen, and I'm very picky about mineral sunscreens because they 9 times out of 10 will leave us a cast on my face, and so a white cast. So I was just like, I'm gonna use this on my body first. You know, I don't want to mess around. I'm going out in public. I don't want to be dealing with that, and I'm not wearing a ton of makeup right now because it's been so hot. So I've just been either doing just sunscreen and mascara and brows and like lip, or I've been doing like a little bit of concealer and then, you know, makeup. But today, I did it, guys. I put it on my face and I loved it. And I was shook because there was no cast. It looked beautiful. It had a glow, but not too much. It was like my skin was like freshly washed and moisturized, and I was just looking really healthy. I was shook. This will be used on my face more. I've been using it on my body, but I'm gonna probably go through this really quickly because I'm gonna start using this on my face because it is, and it's SPF 100. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited to use this on my face more, but I've been loving it on my body too because it does give like most sunscreens, it gives my skin like a nice glow, but it doesn't, you know how some sunscreens, when you put them on your body, you can just feel them. They're just like, you know what I mean? They feel like they're sitting on your skin. This doesn't feel like that. And that, I guess, is the melt-in aspect of this. And I am in love. It's beautiful. Next up is, I would say probably this one is the newest, maybe? This one came around the same time as the Tula, but I started using this one first. So this is the Summer Fridays Shade Drops Broad Spectrum SPF 30 Mineral Milk Sunscreen. So remember I said I don't like milky or mineral sunscreens? This is another exception to that rule. I freaking love this. I love this. My only gripe with this is that it's SPF 30 because I would use this all the time, but I prefer a higher SPF most days. And this melts into the skin so nicely, and it's so pretty on the skin. It's natural. I don't actually feel like I have a ton of glow with this. It just looks like my skin. And honestly, ultimately, that's what I want. I don't necessarily, I mean, I don't mind a little bit of glow with my sunscreens. I honestly just want them to be as unobtrusive as possible. You know what I mean? I just want them to do their job, and then I don't necessarily have to deal with minimizing glow or adding glow because it's made my skin look like dry like the desert, which a lot of mineral sunscreens do for me. I have oily skin, and if I'm putting something that's a mineral sunscreen and it makes my skin look dry, it's a no for me, dog. I don't have dry skin. You know what I mean? So for me, a lot of the times what I'm usually trying to do is to strategically add glow in certain places while taking it away from others, if that makes sense. So generally, between the white cast and the looking like the Sahara, and the fact that I just don't like the feeling on my skin with a lot of mineral sunscreens, because I feel like I can feel mineral sunscreens on my face a lot of the time. This doesn't feel like this at all. It's literally like a milk. It's so thin. It's liquidy. I'm not going to open it up because it'll literally pour out, but it's liquidy. And it's like when I do the 2-finger rule, I have to like hold it like that and then apply it to my face because it's so liquidy and milky, but it applies and absorbs in the skin so beautifully. My one gripe with this is that if you apply it and you are someone who sweats, which I am, you will get this thing around your hairline, this like white drippiness. That is the only thing that I say about this freaking sunscreen, and it's happened to me so many times that I have to be very careful about how hot of a day that I decide to wear this, because if I'm sweating, it's like all here. And sometimes what I've been doing, one of the things I've been doing is to just apply it here and then put a cream sunscreen around my hairline, which is a bit extra, but sometimes a girl has to do what she has to do. And for me, I would rather do that and wear the sunscreen I want than be looking like I'm dripping like milk down my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not cute. So yeah, I really enjoy this. This is expensive. This is $32 hairs. It is 1.7 ounces. I use this sparingly. I've got about that much use of it. So this is how much I've used so far. But I use this sparingly because, again, I do prefer a higher SPF. I don't use this on super, super duper hot days. I feel like this is something that I'm probably going to get a lot of use of in the winter. So I'm thinking I'm going to hold off on like really getting into this and use it in like the fall and winter when I'm not like as sweaty. I still sweat, but I'm not as sweaty. You know what I mean? You guys can hear ringing. There's an ice cream cart that comes through my neighborhood around this time every single day because it's summer and people want some ice cream. So it's like right around this time you hear it ding, 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 ding. And this is the time that I film. This is the time that I have to film. So I kind of have to work around it. So if you hear a bell, it's a little ice cream cart. It's a little paleta cart. You know, he sells paletas and ice cream and all that good stuff. But last on this, in this little video of sunscreen goodness that I have for you is this that I purchased in June during my birthday haul, my birthday shopping. And this is the Supergoop Resetting Refreshing Mist. Broad spectrum sunscreen, SPF 40, PA+++, water and sweat resistant for 40 minutes. Now, I've talked about how my love-hate relationship with sunscreen sprays. They serve a purpose, they do, but the way you use them is really what determines how effective they are. You're supposed to spray, they always give the instruction to spray. The problem with that is you're not supposed to inhale, of course, a mist of sunscreen, but also you may miss areas when you're spraying. Now, I've developed like techniques for doing, for applying them. I've tried 3 or 4 of them. My favorite is still the Coola one. So if you are actually in the market for a sunscreen setting spray, the Coola one is the best one, hands down, that I've tried. I tried the Kate Somerville one, hated it. It is the most greasy thing. Felt like my makeup was melting off my face. The Coola one is the most that keeps your makeup intact. You know what I mean? Like your makeup looks like your makeup. Let it dry. It's going to look a little wet for a while, but once it dries down, your makeup doesn't look, you don't look greasy and your makeup is where you placed it. There's an Ulta one that I did not like. That one burns. That's a no-go for me. Unfortunately for me, the Super Goop one, I've been doing a new technique with this that I actually prefer. And one of the techniques that, I forget who recommended it, but a great technique to make sure that you're getting the most coverage from your spray, but also that you're not inhaling it, is to take the spray, spray it in your hands, like get a nice little pool, shake it up, of course, get a nice little pool of the product. You do this and then you press it into your skin. And I do that about 3 times to make sure, 2 or 3 times, depending on how much I've applied enough to all areas of my face. This works. Like, it doesn't move your makeup when you do it this way. My issue with that spray is that I feel like it's a bit too greasy. It's not as greasy as the Kate Somerville one. That one was like literally like I felt like I had taken a piece of fried chicken and went no, Kate Somerville, no. And hers is hella expensive. The Kate Somerville one is like $40 hairs. No. The Coola one is about the same price as the cream sunscreens. It's about 32 bucks. This is the mini version of the Refresh. I didn't want to get a full one in case I didn't like it. Since I'm kind of on the fence about how I feel about it, I think that was a smart choice. The large size, I think, is like between $30 and $35. So yeah, the cheapest one I've tried is the Ulta. That's about 10 bucks. Again, I had the alcohol burn. Some people don't. I think it just depends on your skin. It's up to you if you want to, spend the money and take the chance. I don't even know if they still make it. I'll have to look and see, but that was one that I used when I was sort of going between the Coola and that one. I was bouncing between the two because the Coola one is expensive. You don't get a lot of product. So I was like, I gotta find a cheaper alternative to this because I can't be coming out of my wallet for $32 spray every like 2 months. You know what I mean? So yeah, that one I would say try it. You might like it because the reviews on it are pretty half and half. Like people either really like it or they really don't. I was I think it did the job, but my skin didn't like it. Like it burned. So yeah. Still gonna finish it out, the Refresh spray. Still gonna give it a try. I don't have any photos of me because I haven't really been wearing makeup, like I said. So I've just been going back in with my cream sunscreens, like to reapply during the day when I'm out and about. I haven't really had the need to use the spray because I really bought that to use when I'm wearing a full face of makeup, and I just haven't been doing that lately. Now, I don't have these products with me anymore, but I want to talk about some of the sunscreens that I like and don't like. So first up is the Biore, the Japanese version Biore of and I think it's called the Airy Watery Sunscreen Gel. I'll pop a picture up if I can find it. I love that one. That was my go-to sunscreen for ages. I love it. I finished it up. I haven't repurchased it. Japanese and I believe Korean sunscreens reformulate their sunscreen every 2 years. Like they update their formulas every 2 years. The version that I was using was I believe the 2020 or the 2021 version. Actually, I take that back. I think it was the 2019 version. And then they they reformulated it and updated it in 2020 to release that year, or either 2021, if that makes sense. I haven't tried the new updated formulation. The OG formulation, which I think you can still get on Amazon, is amazing. I love that sunscreen, and it doesn't matter if you have oily skin or dry skin. I feel like it works for everybody. It is moist. It's like a moisturizer. It's just like a really solid moisturizer type formula. It doesn't give too much glow. Gets a decent amount of hydration. You know, it isn't drying out your skin. Sinks right in. There's no pass because it's not a mineral sunscreen. Love that one. One that I didn't like was the Pipette one. That was recommended by a derm for a great mineral sunscreen for deeper skin tones, and I have to disagree because I am not the deepest of deep as far as my skin tone goes, and it was showing on my skin. So if it's showing on me, I know for a fact that it's showing on people with deeper skin tones than me. Not only that, it was chalky AF. I gave it the good college try with that one, guys. I was like, I tried it on my face a couple times. I was like, but I had this huge bottle of it. So I used it on my body. Hated it on my body too because it's a mineral sunscreen, but it's one of those really chalky sunscreens. So if you're wearing black or any dark color and you're putting the sunscreen on, what's it doing? It's leaving white marks all over your clothes. That one I tried, but I wound up just chucking it because I was just like, it's a no for me, dog. I mean, would you call this an in-depth sunscreen review? I don't know. I mean, I've tried so many sunscreens. Some of them I can't even remember. I was a huge Purito girl until we found out that whole scandal with Purito's SPF level not being what it was. Apparently they've gone back to the drawing board and they've reformulated it, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm scared. I'm scared. I was devastated with the whole Purito thing because that was my ride or die sunscreen. I applied it every day. And then I saw all the information coming out about their SPF and I was like, really? Yeah, so that's when I switched to the Biore. Biore's been fab. That was fab for a while and now I'm a cooler girl. But I would still recommend the Biore. I might repurchase it myself, not gonna lie. If you have any sort of suggestions of sunscreens, let me know in the comments down below because I am always in the mood for a new sunscreen. I have a sunscreen in my cart. It's Amazon, the last day of Amazon Prime Day. And I have a sunscreen in my cart right now. Is it the Innisfree? Not the Innisfree. There's one that's called Isntree. That's it. Another, I believe it's a Korean brand, but it's Isntree that so many people have recommended for me to try. It's in my cart right now, Amazon. I think I'm gonna get that one. So yeah, if you have any recommendations for sunscreens, I will take them, guys. I love a sunscreen. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.